The news tightened Thursday around the assassins of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse, as police announced the arrest of 15 Colombians and 2 Americans of Haitian descent, as controversy mounted in the country over the role of the police and the legitimacy of the transitional executive. The assassination of President Moïse, riddled with bullets at his home on the night of Tuesday to Wednesday, was carried out by an armed commando of 28 assailants, the country's police announced Thursday evening at a press conference. "We arrested 15 Colombians and the 2 Americans of Haitian origin," said Léon Charles, Director General of the Haitian Police, adding that 3 Colombians had been killed and that 8 others were still at large. Until then, the police had said they had killed 4 mercenaries. "The weapons and materials used by the attackers have been recovered," added Charles, showing his determination to find the last 8 responsible. During the press conference, several of the suspects were lined up against a wall in order to show them to the media, Colombian passports and weapons being laid out on a table. "We already have the physical authors in hand and we are looking for the intellectual authors," he said earlier. The United States Department of State, without confirming the arrest of American nationals, announced Thursday that it had agreed to help the Haitian police with the investigation. 2 police officers in the hot seat, at least 2 senior police officials, directly responsible for the security of the head of state, are themselves in the hot seat and have been summoned to court, the chief prosecutor of Port-au-Prince announced Thursday. Me Bedford Claude, the government commissioner of the capital, indeed questioned the apparent passivity, or lack of reaction, of the agents responsible for ensuring the safety of Mr. Moïse. "I did not see any police victim, except the president and his wife. If you are responsible for the president's security, where have you been? What did you do to avoid this fate for the president?" he asked. In the country, everyone remained on the lookout Thursday. Stores, commercial banks, gas pumps and small businesses in the main Haitian metropolis keeping the door closed. The government on Thursday called for the reopening of the airport, which should be effective Friday, and called for the resumption of economic activity. In front of a police station in Pétionville, on the outskirts of Port-au-Prince, residents, for their part, applauded the police for having made arrests and called for the lynching of the alleged assailants. The commando was made up of professional, hired killers posing as officials of the American Anti-Drug Agency, according to the Haitian ambassador to the United States. The international community was immediately alarmed by this assassination, like U.S. President Joe Biden and the Pope, who denounced a heinous act, while the UN Security Council demanded that the perpetrators of the assassination are promptly brought to justice. This attack further destabilizes the poorest country in the Americas, plagued by insecurity. And to the questions on the hunt for the perpetrators of the attack are added those on the future of the country, starting with its governance. 2 men currently claim to lead the nation of 11 million people, more than half of whom are under 20. One of the last political gestures of Jovenel Moïse, who died at 53, was indeed to appoint a new Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, on Monday. He had not yet taken office. But, a few hours after his assassination, it was the interim Prime Minister, Claude Joseph, who declared a state of siege, granting reinforced powers to the executive. The latter is supposed to last 2 weeks. "Are there several prime ministers appointed in the country?" asked Ariel Henry, assuring that Claude Joseph was only Minister of Foreign